Good morning. Monday, September the 20th. Sitting in my office, beginning a new week, and I wanted to just share a few thoughts with you from the weekend, and give you some maybe some insights. But first, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like my videos, smash that thumbs up button, and that goes a long way to helping the video get more exposure. And if you have a comment, feel free to put them in there or just email me, jmoscona@gmail. All right, so this weekend, our pastor, Father Eric, preached on the second reading, which is the letter of James. First, a little background on the letter of James. Very curious, if you are familiar with Scripture and you know about the letter of James, what is the first thing that pops into your mind? Probably faith without works is dead. I actually preached on that last weekend when another part of the letter was the second reading. Yesterday, this weekend, the second reading was bringing forth another idea from St. James, and that is the power of the spoken word. It talks about the tongue being like a rudder on a ship. Huge ship, small rudder. That little rudder can move that huge, huge ship. Also talks about how you put a bit in a horse's mouth, and just by moving the mouth, you can move the whole horse. Likewise, this tongue goes a long way in controlling us. And a lot of that is instructed through James, telling us that what we say is very, very important, because once you say something, you can't get it back. Many, many years ago, Bill Britt, awesome patriarch of our business group, who would do a thing called Brit School, which was a weekend of him talking about business success. He would begin the whole weekend by coming out and just humbly saying, look, I'm not a preacher, I'm just a successful businessman, but everything that I talk about this weekend, and he would hold up his Bible and he'd say, it's basically going to come from this book. And then he would talk about the biblical principles of success. He would talk about Joshua 1:18. He would talk about 1:8. He would talk about a lot of Proverbs, a lot of different things. Mention James, but he would stick to Proverbs a lot. And in taking this whole thing about the tongue to another level, let me read a couple of little tidbits from Proverbs, just so you can get a feel for what he says. First of all, in Proverbs, it says you are snared by the words of your tongue. And listen to this: from the fruit of his mouth a man is satisfied. He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Is that awesome? It's just incredibly important. And then there's another one right here that I was reading this morning that I hadn't even thought about. Where is it? I'm sorry, I had it marked. Anyway, I'll look at it. I want to continue to just say that it's really important about what we say. And there's another whole part of this that is very, very important, and it's because of this. Our computer really is what runs our body. We think about, our body, and I remember Bill Britt saying things like, our mind continues to work our body even when we're not thinking about it. We don't have to think about breathing. We don't have to think about blinking so that our eyes don't dry out. We don't have to think about all the involuntary things that happen, like our heart beating, our lungs expanding and contracting. Our brain takes care of that for us. Also, our brain takes care of the possibility of success for us. And how do we control what our brain thinks? Well, we program our brain through our words. It's kind of like a computer, junk in, junk out. So we have to be real careful what we say, because the things we say go right into our brain. And there's an author, I have one of his books somewhere around here, Shad Helmstettler, and his book is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And it's about the fact that there is scientific proof about these neurons in here that are programmed by our words. When I was growing up, we used to say that you only have so many brain cells, and you're constantly destroying them through life. Things that you eat, things that you drink, and different things like that, and you can never replace them. Well, now there is scientific evidence that you really can replace the brain cells through the way you program your mind by what you say. And it's true that when you're young, you just hear so many thousands and thousands of times, no, you can't, that's not possible, that to overcome that negative, you have to dilute it through positive. So you have to continue to reinforce positive things in your mind, which in essence programs your mind into a positive way of thinking. I challenge you to Google, tongue speaking in the Bible, and come up with all these different places where, the life and death and the power of the tongue and all that kind of stuff. And you find out that it really is true that our tongue, to a large extent, controls the possibility of our success. So what Shad says, Dr. Shad says in his articles about success, he says, you can create self-talk. You can create positive statements that you say to yourself. One of the things that he says, and I read this in another book too, is you have to like yourself before you can love others. And so you should daily tell yourself, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. It sounds hokey to tell yourself you like yourself, but you need to do that. Otherwise, you'll get down on the fact that maybe, you don't have enough hair, or have a little too much down here weight-wise, or whatever. You just need to reinforce the fact that you do like yourself. And then also you can do self-talk, like setting goals for yourself and speaking them into the present. For example, I am a successful whatever. In my case, I am a successful deacon. I am a good preacher. I am a good person that does videos, or whatever it is. I do a TV show on Catholic television, and I say, I'm a good host for Catholic Life Television. Those are just positive reinforcements that when you get to the point where you're actually doing it, you don't have to get all frustrated with being apprehensive about what you're going to do. You just go do it because you have confidence. In the way of daily self-talk, you might want to say things like, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I say that every day. I talk about some of the goals I have, some of that bucket list things. I want to take my wife back to New York because we were there, as I mentioned in the previous video on 9/11, and we never did get to see the shows we wanted to see. I'd love to take her back. I want to go to Mount Rushmore. I've not seen that. I know that's a small bucket list thing. We could probably afford to do it right now. I want to go back to Rome. I was there when I was in the Navy. It just didn't mean as much to me then because I wasn't as developed spiritually as I am now. Same thing with the Holy Land. I would love to go back to the Holy Land. I was at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I was awed by it, despite the fact that my spirituality was not what it is now. I was awed by it. I can't even wholly imagine what it would be like to be there now. And if I'm on a tour, to be able to assist a priest doing Mass on some of those sacred spots. So the point of this whole thing is James talks about the tongue, how important it is to take full responsibility for what we say, make sure we speak positive and not negative, put life into us through speaking life, creating self-talk. Also read Proverbs. You can get a lot about what you say to yourself. And go read Joshua 1:8. It's a very good passage. It kind of lays the foundation for having a successful life. Also, just want to remind everybody that it's Monday, it's the beginning of a new week. Embrace it, start over again, and ditch all the negative and be positive. Till next time, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week. God bless everybody. Peace out.